Today we're going to review different retirement withdrawal strategies. But before we get into that, I want to let you in on a little secret. Some of our very best clients used to be do-it-yourselfers. Does that surprise you? The truth is, lots of people do a solid job managing their own 401k. Maybe that describes you. But a lot of people we work with realize that retirement planning is a lot more complicated than investing a 401k. It's like the difference between book knowledge and street smarts. Think of it like this. Most people can paddle a canoe on a lake, but if they plan on going down a river with class 3 or 4 rapids, it's probably a good idea to have a guide and the right equipment. Whitewater rafting is a little bit like retirement. You'll likely encounter some unexpected bumps and turns, and if you aren't careful, you can find yourself thrown overboard. I'm Mike Palmer, certified financial planner and founder of Ark Royal Wealth Management. We're a fee-only financial planning firm, and we love educating people on personal finance. The transition of living on a paycheck to living off your portfolio is an important one, and it requires thoughtful planning. How you take money from your portfolio is our focus today. There are several ways retirees can think about distributions in retirement, and we're going to review a few of the more popular ones. Now, I've also written about this topic in Kiplinger, and a link to that article is in the description below. One caveat, there are 2 important variables to planning portfolio draws in retirement that are very difficult to predict: the sequence of portfolio returns and future tax rates. The reality is, a plan we devise today could change in just a few years. And this is why having a trusted advisor as a guide can be very beneficial. And it's why a one-time retirement plan isn't good enough. You need ongoing retirement and tax planning. For example, 8 years ago, income tax rates looked like this, and today they look like this. For someone who had $200,000 of taxable income in 2017, they paid an effective tax rate of 21%. But that same inflation-adjusted taxable income, which today equals $262,000, pays just a 19% effective tax rate in 2025. Now, that 2% difference may not seem like a lot, but it's over $5,000, and I think you'll agree that's significant money. With that foundation, let's explore several of the more common retirement withdrawal strategies. Perhaps the most well-known is the classic fixed real withdrawal strategy, and this is more commonly known as the 4% rule. Here's how it works. You withdraw a fixed percentage of your portfolio, and many people use 4%, and you adjust that amount each year for inflation. If someone had $5 million portfolio in 2017 and used a 4% fixed draw strategy, their draw in 2025 would be $262,000 to keep pace with inflation. You may be interested in exploring Morningstar's latest research on safe withdrawal rates. Morningstar asserts that the draw rate should be 3.7% for a 30-year retirement with a 90% success rate. The main reason for this lower rate? Morningstar is predicting lower equity returns over the next decade. Now, Bill Bingham, the father of the 4% rule, he recently revised his analysis to suggest a 4.7% draw rate as the new guideline. Another popular withdrawal strategy is what's known as the Guardrails strategy, and this is a variation on the 4% rule. Under this strategy, you start with a withdrawal rate, and let's say 4% again, and then you adjust it up or down depending on how your portfolio performs. If the market does well, you get a raise. If it drops, you tighten your belt a bit. It's flexible, but it requires more monitoring. And it can also have more spending variation from year to year. At Ark Royal, we've helped hundreds of people successfully navigate retirement. If you're in or near retirement, and have questions about the best way to turn your retirement nest egg into retirement income, we offer complimentary consultations. Just click on Book a Call with Mike in the show notes below. Some couples like to use what we call the retirement smile spending strategy, and this aligns with real-world spending patterns. In the early years of retirement, when people's health is typically good, many retirees maintain 95 to 100% of their pre-retirement spending levels. They often enjoy travel and other extras that they might have put off during their working years. In middle retirement, and that's generally from the late 70s to mid 80s, retirees tend to spend less. Spending may increase from the mid 80s to mortality due to increased healthcare costs. This spending pattern forms the shape of a smile. Planning distributions under this strategy is more cash flow based, targeting a certain dollar of spending, which starts level and then decreases for a period and then increases again. Finally, over the last couple of years, we've had some clients opt for what we call a partial liability-driven strategy, or LDI. This strategy specifically addresses one of the biggest risks of running out of money in retirement: the chance that you encounter bad investment returns in the early years of retirement. This is also known as sequence of return risk, and we have another video that covers that issue in more depth. Partial LDI mitigates this risk by having a portion of one's anticipated spending covered by a maturing bond in the first few years of retirement. By removing a portion of your withdrawals from market risk, it helps mitigate that sequence of return risk. Now let's look at an actual client case study. The financial information for this is one of our real clients, but we have changed their name to maintain confidentiality. We've been working with Bob and Sally Boomer for about 5 years. They're both age 65 and they're retiring at the end of this year. They have investment accounts that total about $3 million, as you can see here. They'll need about $150,000 to live on in retirement, and that's net of tax. And we've crafted a plan that has Bob waiting until age 70 to claim Social Security so as to maximize his benefit. Sally will start Social Security at age 67. Now we're using the partial LDI strategy with the Boomers. They have 3 $50,000 Treasury bonds in Bob's IRA. One bond matures in 2026, one in 27, and another in 28. Each bond maturity will cover about 1/3 of their annual living expenses, as you can see in this year-by-year cash flow. This strategy accomplishes 4 main goals. Number 1, it reduces sequence of return risk. Number 2, it provides the Boomers with sufficient cash flow, allowing Bob to defer claiming Social Security until age 70. Number 3, it keeps their Monte Carlo probability in the high 80s, which was important to them. And finally, it keeps their taxable income sufficiently low over the first few years of retirement to take advantage of the enhanced senior tax deduction and keep their Medicare IRMA premiums in the lowest bracket. What retirement withdrawal strategy do you find most appealing? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more retirement planning tips. If you're unsure whether your current retirement plan is optimized or even realistic, let's talk. Our team of certified financial planners are retirement planning experts. We can walk you through each of these withdrawal strategies to determine which is right for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you'd like to learn more about the benefits of working with a truly independent and objective fee-only financial advisor, we welcome the opportunity to talk with you.